Waka waka waka, what's up? Today we're going to be doing an in-depth review and transformation of the Magic Square MSO5 Night Tracer. Let's transform, rise up, and take it to the table. And welcome back to the channel, guys, for another FC Finch review. Got some new product in the house. Little bit of a late to the party review in the sense that all other reviewers have gotten their hands on this. A lot of people just starting to get their hands on this sticker right now, but we're going to take a look at it nonetheless. And of course, today we're going to be looking at the Magic Square Night Tracer, the third and most recent installment to their masterpiece scaled Combaticon set. And of course, this is their take on the team leader Onslaught. So we are not going to waste any more time. There's quite a bit to go through in this review. I already did the unboxing in my previous video. I'll put a link in the description down below. By the way, I did forget to do that on my right review. I am going to be correcting that, so I do apologize if you went looking for it and it wasn't there. There was a lot going on and whatever. Either way, so I am going to be doing that and posting that down below, so we're not going to go over the box, but it is a very nice box. This is a very big box. He has a very big figure, which we're going to get into. So I'm going to put this off to the side and we're going to get right into the figure. And in an odd twist of fate, we're actually going to be starting this review taking a look at one of his accessories first. That is because this guy comes out of the box as a bit of a parts form. I'm actually just kidding with that, but of course, if you watch my unboxing, he does come with his backpack detached. That actually is cartoon accurate. If you watch the episode Revenge of Bruticus, he actually takes off his backpack and it becomes a control unit, and somehow he still has his backpack back on when they film Bruticus merging and all that good stuff. But nevertheless, his backpack does come detached. And during the unboxing, I didn't really spend too much time trying to get it attached, but what you want to do is you will see that on the bottom you do have these little T slots right here. Incidentally, this is the orientation that you want it in, with the little L-shaped, kind of the backwards L-shaped kind of pointing this way. And what you want to do is you want to take Mr. Night Tracer himself, and if you bend him over, you can see on his back you got these two little recesses in the same shape. So what you're going to do is you're just going to slide that right in there and push it right up. It slides in nice and easy, and then you could kind of set up his ab crunch back as it was. Spoiler alert. And what we want to do is you want to push outwards on the cannon. Same thing for the other side. One side takes a bit more work than the other on my copy, and what you're going to do is you got these two slots back here, and you're just going to kind of push this in, and then you can just kind of lock this in on one side, lock it in on the other, and it sets itself up just like that. And now we have the complete Night Tracer or Onslaught ready for review. And let's talk about Mr. Night Tracer. But before we do that, and I am going to do the comparisons, I just want to give you an idea of how tall this guy is. So of course we'll get out the handy dandy FC Finch ruler, and you can see to the top of his head he is just shy of 10 inches, but to the top of his cannons, this guy is pretty much a foot tall. He is a big boy with a big box, just to give you an idea of what this guy is. So let's get a good look at him. And of course, on the head right here, it's a great looking head sculpt. Again, very nice vibrant orange done for the visor. It looks really good. The head sculpt for this guy has always been badass. In fact, I love the name Night Tracer. All third-party companies do like such great third-party names of this guy. Head sculpt done. Looks like it's just done in blue plastic, unpainted for the helmet, but it's very nicely done. Just got the bare minimum molded detail, of course. Hyper tune accuracy is what Magic Square is going for. You do have very nice, looks like silver face paint for the mask right there. Just looks very, very good. You got the body done in blue. It does look like that plastic infused paint. At least that's what I think it is, which kind of gives it a waxy feel. I'm not sure I'm too crazy about that. I'm trying to remember if their Brawl had the same thing, but it looks okay. It is not entirely off-putting, but doesn't look the best. Then of course you have like a very nice drab green on the sides. This does look good. This feels good as well. Incidentally, this guy, I don't sense any die cast in him, but he is a very hefty, like he's got a solid weight to him. So just take with that what you will. You can see on the inside you do have the wheel detail. They are faux wheels, but they are done in black with silver, with gray paint. They look very, very nice. Again, he's got that military military feel. And of course, you got down to the hands, which are just done in black plastic. You do have the waist detail done in that drab green with very nice gray detailing, light gray detailing for the little headlights. And then of course you got the silver on his little gentleman's area. Moving down, you got very nicely black thighs. Again, everything just like bare minimum molded detail, supposed to be hyper-tune accurate. Of course you got the a little bit dots of drab green paint along the lower thighs, even on the shins here. Got nice big feet right there. Got a little bit of cat hair sticking to this guy. And of course, we move to the side, you can see his wheels. The tires are done in plastic, but they do kind of have like a rubbery feel. You can see they are textured. We'll talk about that more in vehicle mode. And you can see just got the pins through these slots for the tires. They got an industrial feel. Moving to the back, and you can see he is very like cleaned up. Just a little bit of breakage in his arms. That's just due to his transformation. This guy has a pretty decent and cool transformation, but overall hardware mitigation is pretty good. You do have some screws on here on the shoulders, just in his little butthole right here. Not too sure what this slot does. I'm assuming that has to do for combine mode. It does not store the weapon, as we will see later. You got his backpack right back here, done in a very nice green. Got a little bit of molded detail on there, not too much. We'll talk about his articulation next, and he's loaded with that. So the head is on a swivel and a hinge. You can see he looks way up. It goes all the way around just like that. Incidentally, the backpack, the turrets do move to and fro. For the arms, all the way around on a friction, and of course you can get out to the side on a clickety clackety ratchet, and then you can get all the way up on a hinge like that. Bring it down, you got a very nice, it's kind of an elbow swivel, and of course you can get the full on at the elbow. Bring it back down, you do have a very nice wrist swivel. You can actually bring, oh no, you can because it's locked in, sorry about that. And of course you can bring the wrist out. You do have a ball and a hinge and a secondary hinge at the thumb, and then of course you have a base hinge for the hands, and then of course the secondary hinge, and of course you do have the very nice splay, which Magic Squares is known for. Bring the arms out, you do have a very nice ratcheted waist swivel, and you do have an ab crunch for days. Look at that. We're gonna lift up. He does have the hip guards on the back and the side, and I'm gonna show you how the leg works. So you can actually bring the leg out, and it's actually gonna carry the front hip skirt with it, and you can just see this guy gets all the way up, gets you the massive fusion kick. Bring it back, and when you bring it back, you actually have to work the leg itself to push this back in. Bring it all the way back, bring it just out just a bit to get the full-on fusion kick back, and then of course you bring it out to the side on a clickety-clackety ratchet. He will hold it, fusion kick out to the side. Look at that, all three fusion kicks. I would expect no less from Magic Square. You do have a fairly solid thigh swivel on a clickety-clackety ratchet. You have a double jointed knee for the full-on get you in the nuts. I would expect no less from Onslaught. And then of course you get a little bit of toe tilt upwards. You get nothing downwards. You basically get a little bit of heel tilt upwards due to transformation, and of course you get ankle tilt for days. And that is pretty much it for his articulation. Such a good looking figure, and got the moves to back it up. We'll talk about his true accessories next, or should I say accessory, because it only really comes with one, and that is of course his rifle. It is done in a very nice drab green plastic. You do have some nice molded detail, though it is mostly G1 accurate with lacking in detail. You got a little bit of extruded detail right here. You got some ports at the front of the barrel. You do have a little capacitor detail right back here. Just very overall generally undetailed. One of the things, you do have some plastic flash up here and up here, and incidentally it's all over this figure, especially you'll see when we get to transformation. I'm not too bugged by it, though I will say it is kind of off-putting in the sense that it makes the figure feel a little bit rushed, but I digress with that. Other than that, to mount this, you do have the tab on the handle. You do got two tabs on his hand. You're just gonna stick that in there and just plug that in, and he will hold that nice and firmly so he could blast some Autobots, or he can blast his boss Starscream. And of course you can take this out of his hand if you want to store it, and all you're gonna do is you're gonna fold the handle down. And of course not really an elegant way to store this. You just got two ports on his backpack. Incidentally, it plugs in here in vehicle mode and in combine mode, so it does this for all three, and you're just gonna plug it right back in there, which I guess works okay for at least the robot and the combine mode, in my opinion. And that's going to be pretty much it for his accessories for this mode anyway. And moving on to our comparisons, we're going to spend a little bit of time here. And we're going to start off with a Takarabot, the only one that matters, and that is, of course, his daddy, for better or worse, Mr. MP52 Starscream, so you can see how he scales. And this actually works. I recall him being a little bit bigger than Star. I mean, he's kind of a lot, but he's like an inch bigger than MP52. But nevertheless, I still think that this scale works. Again, he was capable of beating down on his old dad right here. So we'll get Starscream off the table. Of course, we'll get him in there with the previous team member, or the one that I reviewed, Mr. Brawl, so you can see how the team looks together, and these guys look absolutely badass. Incidentally, I do want to state that the ratchets on Night Tracer here feel a lot better to use, a lot less tighter than the ones on Brawl. So again, just kind of testament to Magic Square just slowly getting better at their craft as they go on. And again, I really feel like these guys are becoming one of the premier masterpiece companies out there. They are the guys on the radar you should be watching right now. We're going to get Mr. Brawl off the table. Of course, I think we'll get to the one that everybody wants to see. In my opinion, the current reigning champion of Onslaught, and that is going to be Ocular Max in Cursus. Again, what is with these third party and naming this character in Cursus? Such a badass name. Night Tracer, such a badass name. Anyway, you can see how these guys look in Cursus. Still a great figure in my opinion. He is just a beefy boy compared to the lanky figure of Mr. Night Tracer here. We'll get a look at the front right here so you can kind of see the differences. We'll get a look from the side. Of course, Ocular Max kind of took their own approach on the character. Kind of get him standing upright there so you see how these guys looking. Man, in Cursus is like, what are you looking at, runs? You can see the additional details on the Ocular Max as well from the back side, and then of course you can see the additional details as well. And Ocular Max, of course, having that more beefy look because of course Ocular Max took the all built-in gimmick right there, so you can kind of get an all-around look of how these guys look together. And that's gonna be pretty much it for our comparisons. Alright, so it is time to get Mr. Night Tracer transforming up into the first of his two modes. We're actually going to go to combine mode first with this guy, just because it is a little bit more work to get him from combine into vehicle versus a lot more work to get him from vehicle into combine. So first thing we're going to do, we're turn around, we're going to do some work on the backpack. We're going to just push the cannons out on the backpack, and what you want to do, you want to move the arm forward, just give ourselves some room to work. Also, and so we'll move out the other side as well to unlock the backpack, give ourselves a bit more room. And what you want to do is you're going to use this rotation and just kind of rotate the cannons around. Instantly, if this hinge is too loose, you have a screw in here, you can tighten. You're going to rotate, you're going to trade his little cannons for some bigger cannons. Same thing for the other side. Just rotate around on this hinge right here. Push that back in, that's for later, and just kind of leave that sitting out to the side for now. Next, we're going to come and we are going to work on his arms. Oops, sorry, knock the camera. You're going to bring the arm all the way out on the ratchet hinge right here. Next, what you want to do is you want to untab this panel right here. You can just see it tabs in right on the top. You got the actual wheel in there. You're just going to rotate this around 180 degrees, and you are going to tab this in right here, just like this. Next, what you want to do is you want to rotate at the elbow all the way around 180 degrees, so this panel is out here on this side, and you got this little tab connection. That's going to come into play later. You want to move the arm up on this hinge right here. Next, what you want to do is you want to pull up, and you can see you got a super secret hinge right in here. You're going to bring this down just like this, and what you want to do is you want to take this hinge right here, you want to work this back in like this. Then activating the elbow joint, you're going to bring the forearm all the way down just like this. Incidentally, just make sure the hands aren't a fist. Not sure if I said that previously. And it's going to be the exact same thing on the other side. I'll do it off camera. We'll be right back. And there's going to be a lot of that in this transformation anyway. So now you kind of have him this it's whatevs pose, and he is kind of unstable at this point, so there's a lot of weight on this backpack here, which are going to get sorted out very shortly here. So what you want to do, we'll come back to the backpack, is firstly you want to come back here and just kind of, you're going to pull out, you got like a series of hinges back here, you're just going to pull out, give ourselves a bit more room. And then what you want to do is you want to take the hands and you just kind of want to push them inward just like this, just kind of push them in as far as possible. Next, what you want to do is you want to open up this panel right here, and you have another secret panel right in here. Same thing for the other side. Just open up this panel, and then you have another secret panel right in here. You got some over under tabs, and what you're going to do is you're just going to kind of combine those goes together just like this. There we go. And then what we can do is we can close this up just like this and just kind of tab it all in like that. Make sure everything's nice and cohesive. And then what you want to do is you're going to bring this up and you want to kind of get these hinges right under the hands right here. Just kind of want to use all the hinges right here and just kind of open up a little space, because you're going to fit this entire area over the arms. And what you're looking for is you want these tabs right here to line up with these slots. This is kind of hard to show, but I will do my best to get this oriented on camera. And we're not going to spend too much time. In fact, I'll do this off camera. I'll be right back. So we have them kind of sitting like this. And of course, you can see it is tabbed in right back here. And we can just close these panel up. They just close up on this hinge right here. And you can see it forms some nice venting detail up here to cover all that mess back up. Next, what we want to do is we're going to work on the legs next. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to transform his little shin right here. And we're just going to take this. We're going to first bring the foot down. It just comes down in a double hinge right here. We're going to unplug this panel right here. And next we're going to come back and we're going to unlock the foot entirely and unplug this panel right here. It just tabs in right here and a little slot right here. Just open that up. That is going to enable us to untab this panel right here. It just has two tabs, one up here, one down here. And then you're going to untab this panel right here. You're going to bring the foot up so it's sitting nice and flush and cohesive down here. And then you're going to put the toe in on this double hinge. You just want it to be totally hidden away just like that. You can see you got a little tab right here that can go into a slot right on the foot. You're going to close this panel up, start to lock everything back. Oh, actually, hold on, leave that panel open. Close this panel up. You got a tab right here, goes into a tab here, and then a tab right here. So close this panel up like that, and that'll lock into the foot. And then close this panel right here, and then you can close up this panel right here. Then you can come back here and you just got a tab right here. You got that slot right there. You're going to close this panel up just like that. You're going to leave the heel out. Next, what we want to do is you just want to pull up on the waist, and we're going to rotate the waist 180 degrees and bring it back down just like that. We can bring up the hip skirt, and then what we could do is we're going to take the leg and we're going to rotate it 180 degrees around at the thigh. And this is kind of a weird way you have to coordinate this, but you just want to rotate it 180 degrees around so it's sitting just like that. You can kind of put the hip skirt back down. Then what you want to do is you want to separate at this panel right here, and you're going to use this hinge here, and you're just going to kind of bring this up. And you do have a little tab right here. It doesn't really tab in. You can try and tab it in. It doesn't tab in all too well to its shoulder, but the actual locking point is going to be right up here in the back leg. So you just kind of want to bring the foot up just like that. And then what you can do is you can close up this panel just like this. And it's going to be the exact same thing on the other side. I'll do it off camera. We will be right back. And there he is in his baggage control mode for the most part. In fact, the one last thing we are going to do is we are going to take these cannons and you can just pull them up and extend them. One side is really tight and one side is really loose on my copy. And yeah, there is Mr. Magic Square Night Tracer in his combine mode. And you can see it is very, you know, just his body in some very, very weird contorted yoga pose. Not really much to discuss or write home about here. You are treated to some additional venting detail, some molded detail on the back. But for the most part, you can tell this guy is pretty much just designed to probably fit into some chest carcass. I don't know. I have never actually seen reviews of the Magic Square Legend Scale version of these guys, so I don't exactly know how it's going to work. And I kind of don't want to. I kind of want to be surprised. But yeah, that is pretty much what he looks like in this mode. You can see he does have two very big cannons. They are fluted on the outside. These actually do look very good. And you can actually use these in either mode that you desire. I mean, you can flip the cannons around anyway. So if you want to have big cannons in the robot mode, you most certainly can do that. Of course, the weapon will plug into the port right back here, as we previously discussed. That nothing changes in regards to that. He does come with one additional accessory in this mode, the final accessory for this guy. And that is, of course, the chest plate for Bruticus. I believe this is the cartoon chest plate. And you can see it's just molded in gray plastic. There's no real place to mount this. You kind of think it would just kind of mount like this, but I assume, again, this guy's going to fit in something, and this chest plate's just going to kind of cover everything up. The instructions don't say how to mount this. I didn't watch any other reviews that say how to mount this, so we're not going to worry about that. And, of course, do a quick comparison. The only comparison that matters there, he is with the Ocular Max. And you can clearly see the Ocular Max doing a lot more of this because the Ocular Max is that all-in-one build. But I will say this, for just essentially this section right here, this guy's pretty, like, freaking massive. Like, he's huge. The cannons are also way bigger too on this guy, so you can just tell that the Magic Square bruticus is not going to be no wimp at all. And yeah, that is pretty much it for his combine mode, all the comparisons that go with it. Let's get on to it, our final transformation into vehicle mode. And it is finally time to get Night Tracer here transforming up into his final mode, his vehicle mode, his armored artillery mode, which I think is based off of a compilation of various vehicles, but no specific Earth vehicle. But hey, if you know the actual specific vehicle, let me know in the comments. I am dying to know it because I have scoured Google for this information. Overall, real quick, this transformation is extremely intuitive. Similar to Brawl, I think I only used the instructions for about 50% of it. So that being said, let's get right down to it. So the first thing we want to do is we want to take the cannon and we can collapse them. And since we're feeling saucy, we can just do it on both sides. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to open up these cannon doors and we can bring out one leg. And what you want to do is you just want to take that and you just want to push it in to close off that little hinge right there, just like that. Real quick, since we're back here, we can rotate the cannons around. I mean, you could leave the big cannons out for vehicle mode. For the sake of this transformation, we'll follow the instructions, just leave the mini cannons out. We're going to close this back up just like that. That's going to be pretty much it for up there. Next, we want to do is we're going to bring the leg down just enough so we can rotate it about, get it back pointed the other way, and then we're going to bring it all the way down just like that. We can just kind of close this up just like this. Actually, get this. Just kind of leave that closed up as best we can. And what we're going to do is we're going to start on the leg. So if it hasn't done so already, we're going to untab this panel right here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the heel, we're going to fold it in just like that. Next, what we want to do, we're going to come around to the front. We're going to open up this panel right here. And we can just open up this all the way to take this panel right here. And we're just going to push this back and all the way around. And then we can push this back over and just leave this up just like that. Just kind of let that hang there for now. Next, what we want to do is we want to untab this panel right here, and we're going to shift this. It's on a double hinge. We're going to shift this all the way down, and what we're going to do is we're going to untab this leg from a tab like right in here, and we are going to shift it down as well. So we're going to shift both these down on double hinges, and as we're shifting them down, what we're going to do is we're going to take that back leg panel, we're going to fold it up back like this, and we're going to rotate it outwards just like this. You see where we're going. This is going to become the outside of the truck bed. And so what we're going to do is we're going to close up the entire leg just like this. Make sure everything's closed up and just kind of bring this down. This will stay here for now, just out of the way, and just kind of leave this like this. Last thing we want to do is you just want to take the leg, and what we're going to do is we're going to kind of work this back, since it's the entire placement of this back end is going to depend a lot on where this hinges. So I think this is about where it needs to be, but again, we'll know better when we get to the actual combining of the two halves. And it's going to be pretty much the exact same thing on the other side. I'm going to do it off camera. We will be right back. So now we got him looking like that, and incidentally, there's more of that like little plastic flash I was talking about. I told you we'd kind of see it during the transformation. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the legs, and you can see we got various tabs and ports on there. We're just going to combine, just push them both together, squeeze them both together just like that. Just kind of get this all out of our way, make the legs nice and cohesive just like that. Incidentally, one thing I did forget is you do have this inside panel on right here, and just going to fold that out just like this. Same thing for knock the camera, same thing for the other side. Just got a little panel right here, just going to fold out just like this, and we'll leave that like there for now so we can work on the top half, and you could use the ab crunch to your benefit here. So the first thing I want to do is we are going to dismantle the back yet again. We can open up these gun ports right here and open up these gun ports, and then what we can do is we can kind of untab this entire back panel just like this, and we can untab, we can bring this up, and we'll just untab both of these panels together. And what we'll do is we're going to open up the back, and we're going to fold this in just like that. and then we could close this back up, and then we could close this back up, just leave it like that. And then what we want to do with this side is we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to open up the gun panel, we're going to open up this back panel, and we're going to fold this in. We're going to close this up. It'll tab in just like that. And we're going to close this up just like that. Then what we want to do is now we're going to bring these hinges, and what we're going to do is we're going to work them so that all these hinges are going to go down. It's going to go down at this hinge right here. You're just going to bring it down just like that. Same thing with the other side. Just kind of bring it all the way down. So this like kind of block right here sits right in the center, basically, of the turret. And you could just leave it just like that for now. And we're going to start to work on the arms. In fact, I am going to raise the camera. I'll be right back. So now we'll work on the arms next. So what we're going to do is we're just going to fold the arm back up, just kind of fold in at the bicep, and then fold in at this hinge right here. And then you could just kind of bring this in and collapse it nice and where there's a little slot right there where the additional hinge could fit. We're going to take this panel right here, open this all the way up, bring it down, just leave it like that. And you can see we got the other half of the tire. And we're just going to take that and fold that out just like that, so that is nice and cohesive. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take the hand, and we're just going to fold, you're just going to straighten it all out. Just kind of straighten everything out just like that. And what you're going to do is you're going to bend it back like this, and then you're going to bend the hinge down just like this, and just leave the hand against the inside of the arm just like that. And it's going to be the exact same thing on the other side. I'm going to do it off camera. We'll be right back. So now he's kind of doing a Superman pose. And real quick, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of open the arms up. You don't have to do this. It's just a matter of whether you're going to see his face at the bottom of the alt mode or not. But the instructions tell us to do this, so we're going to do it. Just rotate his head 180 just like that, and then you can put the arms right back where they were. And next, what we want to do is we're going to untab this backpack down. Just kind of leave it down like this. That's just going to give us more room to work on the backpack, which incidentally we are going to pull out right now. So just kind of pull this out. You got a hinge here, you got a hinge up here, and you got a hinge here, and you can see how this is going to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to double hinge the front end out and just kind of bring this over just like this so we can work on it. You can see you got two little slots underneath where the front headlights are, so you can just kind of fold those out and then just bring this back up, leave this right up here. And you can see you got several slotting systems right up here. Those are going to go into tabs right up here. You also have two tabs right up here. Those are going to go into the forearms right here. And then you got these two locks. They're going to kind of cover over these shoulder areas just like that. So kind of make sure that the arms are straight, they stay together. And what we're going to do is we're just kind of bring this over, just kind of canopy everything over just like this. There we go. And then we're going to bring up the forearm, kind of lock that in up there. Same thing for this side, just kind of lock it in up there. And then we're going to bring in and just make sure the front end sits nice and flush just like that. Next, what we're going to do is you can already see where we're going with this. We got basically the side of the truck and the doors. You got this little panel right here. This is easy to forget. Just kind of fold this out just like that. It's going to make everything nice and cohesive. And then you can just kind of take your hand, roll it on the hinge here. And what we're going to do is this panel works on a bunch of hinges. So we're just going to kind of snake this over. And what you want to do is you have a slot here that's going to go to a tab here. You have a little V tab here that's going to go into this. And you want to kind of bring down the side window, because you want to get it under here. It's going to sit flush with the side of the truck. So just kind of bring it down just a bit. You want to work this hinge to get this as far over as you can, and then just kind of get this in here just like that. And that's going to tab in just like that. It's nice and cohesive. Look at that. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to bring out the side panel here. You got this little hip cover. You're just going to fold this over just like this, and you're just going to kind of fold this in. Everything's working on this hinge up here, incidentally. And then what you want to do is you want to rotate this back axle area up, and you're going to rotate out this wheel and just kind of rotate it down just like this. It doesn't tab in or anything, just kind of in the general area. And it's going to be the exact same thing on the other side. I will do it off camera. We will be right back and continue with the transformation. And we're getting to the home stretch. You can see that we have the back end fully assembled, the front end fully assembled, and now it's time to join the two. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of close up this ab crunch right here, just kind of bring them closer together, just a little closer together. And then we're going to rotate the entire cannon section on this hinge right here, just kind of rotate rotate it, just kind of get it out of our way. We're going to work on one side at a time, just kind of make sure this is closed as much as it can be. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the back end. It just kind of works on this hinge here, this hinge here, and this hinge here. You can see you got two tabs here. It's going to go into two little tabs up here. So just kind of bring it up just like this. And how this fits is going to be a function of how the thigh is sitting. So hopefully we have it right, and it can come up just like this, and it should fit in just like that. And then you have this side panel right here, and you have this little V tab right here. And actually, that doesn't close anything. You have a V tab right here, excuse me, that goes into right there. And then you have little slots that go into tabs along here. So what we're going to do is we're going to close this all up just along the side, just like that. And that's going to get one side entirely cohesive. It's going to be the exact same thing on this side. I'll do it off camera. Incidentally, before when you bring this out, you have this panel in here. You're going to take it and unfold this little panel right here. And the rest is exactly the same as the other side. I will do it off camera. We'll be right back. And you can see everything sitting nice and cohesive, all tabbed in together. And what you're going to do is you're just going to redo what we did before. You're going to bring this all back. Remember, you want this center piece here just sitting right in the center of the cannon port. And just gonna bring these down, bring them together. They just tab directly together. And the final step, and this is of course your aesthetic preference, excuse me, you can extend the barrels per the instructions. And like magic, there we have Magic Square Night Tracer in his mobile armored artillery mode. And let's talk about that armored artillery truck mode. And straight away, you can see that he is a very long truck, as Onslaught usually is. And we'll measure him out real quick. He is literally about 1.5 feet long, just shy of 13 inches, in fact. So again, a very long alternate mode. He really extends himself out. And if you look at the bottom, you can see it's basically just him extended out. You can even see his head in there. It's just kind of him doing a Superman pose, which is totally okay by me. And we'll get into the details. Now, I'm not sure. I know there's artillery trucks similar to this in the real world, just not exactly like this. So I don't think he has any specific model. This is kind of just going off the tune and the toy, which is more than okay. But I mean, he looks menacing enough, and you can see they painted the windshield in a very nice deep black. Looks really, really good. Again, just nice and menacing. You do have some nice textured fatigues on the front here, which I think are really good. They kind of they look like they should feel textured like stickers, but I don't think they are. You got the hood scoop detailed out, which I think just adds to the kind of menacingness of the vehicle. Is that even a word? You do have some gray paint, some darker gray paint for the grille, some nice ridged details. Then, of course, you do have a lighter gray for the front fascia. You got some clear frosted plastic for the headlight, and then the smaller auxiliary light painted in silver. It looks really good. The front of the truck is really real well done on this guy. No other door detailing. Again, they're trying to keep this very undetailed and cartoon accurate. You do have the wheels painted in silver. You got the lug nut detail. You do have a little auxiliary lug nut detail on some wheels. The wheels are textured, and of course he will roll like a champ all day. Coming back towards the back of the truck, you do have these doors painted in drab green. Again, looks really good, nice cartoon accurate. You use some textured, it's a sea of blue plastic on back, but that is his cartoon model. It is textured back here. You got some nice ramp kind of texturing on here, which does look really good. And if we come to the back of the truck, you do have the taillights painted in a nice yellow with silver around the rim, and that does look very, very good. The turret, of course, we've seen that in his robot mode, and incidentally, you can make the cannons go up and down, and of course this will rotate all the way around. You can kind of make it go back, you can make it go down, you can kind of make it go side to side, so however you want to articulate that. And incidentally, you can use, these are kind of loose by the way, you can use whatever cannons you want for this. This is just the way the instructions say to do it, so that's how I'm going to do it in this video, but you can totally give him the big cannon look if you so desire. As far as weapon storage in this mode, so like I stated previously, you can just plug the gun in here. I kind of wish, this is a nitpick of mine, look at all this space down here. I wish they would have found a way to make this compact down and just kind of store out of sight, out of mind. There's so much room for activities down here, so it is kind of a missed opportunity in my opinion that they did not do that, but not totally a figure killer for me. And we'll get get into our comparisons. And of course, the first one, we're going to bring our standard Masterpiece comparison, the MP18 Streaks. You can see how he looks with a typical Takara Carbot. And this scale works for me. I imagine the truck would be a bit bigger than this in actuality, but overall, I think for G1 cartoon scale, this totally works for me. We'll get him out of here, and we'll bring in his homie MS-03 Heavy Gunner, or Brawl. And now the question everybody is going to probably be asking is, can he tow his homie around and give him a ride home from the bar? And the answer is yes, he can. He could totally tow Brawl all the way around, because that's what bros do. Now, I don't think he ever did this in the cartoon, actually, but this is kind of more of a toy thing. I guess all Onslaughts have to do it now, which is totally okay by me. This just looks like a total ground gunboat right here. And we'll get Mr. Heavy Gunner out of there, and then of course we're gonna lay him out on the side. We'll bring in the Ocular Max and Cursus, so you can see how they look side by side. And again, Ocular Max, of course, going for a bit more of a realistic look. Trying to get them from the front right here. We'll see if we can we'll just kind of lift them up so you can kind of see what they're going for at the front. So the Ocular Max going for a bit more of a realistic, bit more of a detailed look with its aesthetic direction. And of course it can do the whole tractor truck thing. You can separate the back from the front, but we got the Magic Square going for a cartoon accuracy, and it does have a bit more articulation in the cannon. And that's gonna be pretty much it for the vehicle mode. And let's sum it up for the Magic Square Night Tracer. Yet another fine entry into Magic Square's Combaticons Gone Masterpiece scale. This guy is masterfully engineered. Articulation is absolutely off the charts for this figure, for any figure in general of any segment. The transformation is fun, it's intuitive, he goes nice and smoothly through all three modes, through multiple transformations, and both modes look very good with a solid amount of playability. Accessories, he comes with just what he needs, and for a completely G1 cartoon accurate character, this guy, the coloration on this guy, it just brings out so much character in this figure. Just a lot to love about this guy. As far as some cons go, the plastic flash pieces are a bit off-putting. I really wish Magic Square would commit to using the gloss paint again. I think it looked really good on their Heavy Gunner. I think it would look really spectacular on this guy. I hope they decide to go it through the rest of them, since this company appears to be very much dedicated to improvement. Again, Magic Square, they are coming up fast in the Masterpiece game, and boy, you better have eyes on these guys, because they are just killing it right now, and they are improving with every single figure that they do. I think the only thing that this guy really lacks is a little bit of added refinement, but other than that, I think this is as good as any Masterpiece offering, and quite frankly, in my opinion, this is hands down the best Masterpiece offering, or the best in general offering of Onslaught that you can buy right now. That being said, I did pick my copy up at Bombasby. I'll put a link in the description down below so you can check them out. If they still have any in stock, grab one for yourself. And that is going to conclude this review, so you guys know what to do at this point. If you found this review fun and informative, let me know by hitting the like button down below. I greatly appreciate it. It does help me out. Also, check out my unboxing, and of course, if you are a fan of Transformers reviews of the official and third-party variety, consider giving me a subscribe. Again, thank you so much to the 800 plus of you that already are. Thank you very much for joining me on this journey of mine. I have been FC Finch. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for making me a part of your collecting journey. Good night.